Good afternoon, it's Monday, March 25th, 2024. Peace is a part of the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, mob action leaves suspected car thieves critically injured in Port Harcourt. Rivers Information Commissioner calls for patience, lists achievement of current administration. Federal government files tax evasion charges against crypto platform Binance. On the foreign scene, China linked to UK cyber attacks on voter data. I am Ifeanyi Kumoyan with the news. Now, there was a mob action on Stadium Road in Port Harcourt early this morning as scores of people beat up two men accused of attempting to steal an e-hailing cab. Our correspondent who visited the scene of the incident reports that the two suspects were left on the side of the road barely conscious and critically injured. An eyewitness spoke on this.
Around 4 o'clock, so they go enter for GR, enter as a boat. So as they reach here now, this stadium road, so they won't try to snatch the man because they drag with the man. So the man going enter this pavement. So on the way, they all run come out. Nine boys saw them. And let them see themselves. So and boys nine beat them like that. They all snatch the man car. The man don't push his car going with the rest of them go.
A security officer in Mufti was seen at the scene of the incident. Away from that, Rivers State Commissioner for Information Joe Johnson has asked Rivers people to be patient with the current administration. In the state government has provided several employment opportunities in the state. Mr. Johnson spoke on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire today.
Only recently, the government announced 500 medical officers, and that's another way of opening the channel for outsiders to benefit. The 10,000 employment is almost being concluded. They have also opened employment in the nation's agility. The government has also opened opportunities for commencement of the employment. So these are opportunities that will put the employment opportunity to Rivers State. So I want to believe strongly that if we're a little bit patient with this government, quite a lot of in the area of social infrastructure.
Mr. Johnson also said Governor Siminalayi Fubara has introduced several programs in the agricultural sector. He also said that challenges that Nigerians are going through will ease off soon.
To say so much is not being executed in the road sector is not because I know there are no cash crops that can grow overnight. The challenges that Nigerians are facing now will ease off, if they allow the season to take. So the farms in Uguma, all the other farms, and the rest of them, these are things that we're putting together to be able to take charge. There is a steady fee of 4 billion, which intends to address both agri and all other sectors. It's not important, and those are the things that we're putting together.
In another development, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory FCT Nyesom Wike has challenged his successor in Rivers State to a media chat. The FCT Minister, who is the immediate past governor of the state, spoke in Port Harcourt during a special Thanksgiving organized by the Minority Leader of the House of Representatives, Kingsley Chinda. While reeling out his achievement when he was in office, the minister accused his successor of envy.
Petition me. I don't have what? Immunity. After all, most of them are experts in writing petition to EFCC. They were the ones who wrote against Amechi to EFCC. Let them write. I don't have immunity. If you know you have what it takes, appear before the press. Talk with the press. Live coverage. Let them ask you questions. And you talk. Let's see. I talk with the press every day. I say, ask me a question.
The FCT minister also said churches should not neglect politicians who have served out their terms in office. He further said people should be mindful of politicians who do not speak.
As far as God is the one that put you there, the same God will protect you. So let nobody tell you stories. The pastor has preached today, and I tell you in life, be careful of those who don't talk. Do you understand me? Be careful of people you say they are very quiet. Be careful. I'm not saying you should be a talkative. I say be careful of those, they will never say anything. I am proud, and I say it, let anybody come out and challenge me. I come out of Rivers State. I took this state to the level that Nigeria must recognize Rivers State.
Moving on two-time former minister under the Goodluck Jonathan administration, Abdullahi, has called for history to be made a compulsory subject in schools. Abdullahi, former minister of Sport and Youth Development, made the call in Port Harcourt during the launch of his latest book titled On a Platter of Gold: How Jonathan Won and Lost Nigeria.
For many years, history was struck out of the curriculum, but I think it was returned towards the end of that. History is back. The question is, how do we now go about teaching children history? That's where the big work is. After so many years of not teaching history.
What Nigeria should be doing today is to make it compulsory for every Nigerian child, whether you are studying physics or astrophysics, to study history. The point is that I tell people I'm not Yoruba, they don't understand why I'm not Yoruba. They say, if you're not Yoruba, then who are you? I say, I'm from Ilorin. They say, how? But you speak Yoruba. I say, yes, the same way Americans speak English.
The former minister, who's also a veteran journalist, also spoke on people's perception of former President Goodluck Jonathan as weak and clueless when he was president between 2010 and 2015.
The most important thing that Jonathan has to teach everyone is the love of country and the care in the use of power. He was very, very particular. President Jonathan didn't want to break the law. He didn't want to violate the constitution. So when we care for the things that he did at the time that people regard him as clueless, some other people have done the same thing or even worse. So I think he was just a victim of the kind of politics for that time.
Students of upper 600 schools in Port Harcourt reviewed the book and had questions for the author, which he answered. Technocrat Robinson Tombare Sibe also reviewed the book as the chief witness. The book launch was done during a quarterly book reading event put together by a book organization named the August Meeting in Port Harcourt. The convener of the August Meeting, Kingsley Wenendawale, also spoke.
Because it's an action that will help everyone to understand more about the art through the kind of books that are selected for the competition. Be involved in quiz competitions centered around books that are written about Nigeria. First winner, the first prize is 10 million naira. And it's structured in a way 50% goes to the students who actually participated, nominated by their parents. 25% will go to the schools, while 25% will be used to buy books that will be used to furnish the library.
Meanwhile, two staff members of Wazobia Info FM Port Harcourt, China Achiru and Chioma Ezenwafo, had their books showcased during the book event. Mr. Achiru, who is Wazobia FM's programs manager in Port Harcourt, presented his book titled 1,000 Times on the Same Road, which chronicled his sports journalism journey.
Been to about 16 African countries. I've been to the World Cup and I tallied 957 games. I created the hashtag on Twitter, hashtag #Bulletin1000. And my 1,000 game was covered by the BBC. On that day I was asked, now you've done 1,000 games, what's next for you? I said, if you've been to the stadium 1,000 times, you must have 1,000 stories to tell. And that was where I got the idea of a book. It's not a book of statistics. It's not a book that will tell you who scored this goal or who scored that or who won the red card. No. It's a story of Nigerian football. It's a story of love, a story of passion, a story of adventure, powerfully.
Mrs. Ezenwafo, who is news manager of Wazobia Info FM in Port Harcourt, presented her book titled Becoming a News Titan, a definitive guide to covering politics and civic space, which advocates for equitable reporting of politics and the civic space.
As journalists, when we become deliberate about capturing all of the genders and all of the roles they are playing in the polity or in the civic space, because becoming a news titan is written for journalists, aspiring, those already practicing, just to get us really close to the core of covering politics and the civic space. I believe that when we give equal coverage to all of the women in these spaces, whether it's the civic space or the polity, will all become news titans.
Highlight of the book event was the unveiling of the Education Champions League, aimed at improving the reading culture of students in schools across River State. Still to come, federal government files tax evasion charges against crypto platform Binance. Stay with us.
Own a home at the Greater Taf City, Port Harcourt, a well-planned facing
Obasani says Muslim cleric Ahmad Gumi was not involved in the safe return of abducted Kuriga pupils. Governor Sani, who spoke on Channels Television, said all the 137 school children abducted on the 7th of March from the Chikun local government area of the state by bandits were rescued by the military in collaboration with local authorities from neighboring Zamfara state. The governor described as speculations, talks in some quarters that ransom was paid. In other news, members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian University SANU and the Non-Academic Staff Union NASU resumed today after they suspended their 7-day warning strike. SANU President Mohammed Ibrahim gave the directive in a circular yesterday. The two unions began a 7-day warning strike on the 18th of March over withheld salaries. In business, the federal government has taken legal actions against Binance, a prominent cryptocurrency exchange platform. Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) today said the charges were lodged at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Two senior executives of Binance, Tigran Gambarian and Nadeem Anjarwala, currently held in custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), were also joined in the suit. The charges against Binance include allegations of non-payment of value-added tax, VAT, company income tax, failure to file tax returns, and aiding customers to evade taxes through its platform. In entertainment, tributes are pouring in for veteran Nollywood actor Amechi Monago, who died after a prolonged illness at the age of 62. The late actor was famous for his role in the 2020 movie Aki and Popo. He acted in Igodo, Karashika, Last Burial, and Police Recruit, among other movies. In sports, American Coco Gauff moved to the last 16 at the Miami Open with a 6-4, 6-0 win over Ocean Dodan.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
The UK government is expected to link cyber attacks which accessed the personal details of millions of voters to China. The attacks on the Electoral Commission took place in August 2021 but were only revealed last year. Several members of parliament and peers who have been critical of Beijing are thought to have also been targeted in cyber attacks. Deputy Prime Minister Oliver Dowden will address Parliament today about the threat.